Hey guys! Before we get into this, a little quick warning. This video is going to be a lot. I'm not sugarcoating anything. You guys saw part one, so here is part two. If you guys are sensitive to any topics that I talk about, I will put timestamps below. But for now, let's get into the video.
Keeps on talking about a centipede.
Nous t'implorons, ô Satan, notre maître et Seigneur.
Sprema se na što.
Pierpaolo Pasolini.
Chi ha ucciso Pasolini?
Censorship. There are many layers to it, whether we're talking about real world situations or just what we see or don't see in the media. But film in particular has a sort of tug of war. The upside, you get to tell stories that nobody else can, especially if it comes from your own life. But the downside is that you may not get the reception that you were hoping. Some people will think that you are crazy. Some will think that you are sadistic. And some will just think that you're being provocative for the sake of it. And honestly, some of you guys need help. But I digress. That's not the video. And I love having these conversations because everyone has a different opinion on what needs to be censored, what does need to be censored, what needs to be banned, and why. So today I'm going to be talking about 4 films that really sparked the debate on this conversation and what these directors' main goal was with making these films. Not gonna lie, some of these films are very heartbreaking. Actually, all of them are heartbreaking. Some of them are terrifying. So if you guys have not seen the first part, I recommend you watch that one first and then come to this one. So we on the same wavelength. We on the same vibe because we need to be this together. And I promise you guys, look, part one is nothing like this one. I really went deep. I went Reddit deep. Okay. I discovered some films I probably should have not discovered. My curiosity got the best of me. So I'm dealing with the repercussions of that. And my neck hurts and my head is pounding. And if I didn't love you guys as much, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be watching Descendants or something. iCarly. I'll also drop a little break in between each film that I talk about because you'll need it, trust me. So proceed with caution as you might. If you are new, hi, my name is Alexis. I'm the girl that watches these films so you guys don't have to. I put myself to the ringer so you guys can sleep well at night. Without further ado, enough of my yapping, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the first film we're going to be discussing is The Human Centipede 2. Dose. I have my iPad, let you guys know. This is my first time watching the second installment in this whole series. I watched the first one and I was like, okay, that's enough. But I watched this one and it's way worse. The reason why I didn't put the first film on here is because it actually was not banned. I believe it wasn't as banned as like Human Centipede 2. But for the sake of this video, I did watch it and I have not been okay since yesterday. The Human Centipede came out in 2011. The film follows this man named Martin who loves the first film of Human Centipede. He decides to create his own with 12 people. Ends up kidnapping the actress from the first film, Ashlyn. I don't know, I just feel like if I was being picked up for a casting call, right, in a sketchy van, raining, and he looks
Be nice. I'm finding it.
I had to eat my words, but common sense would tell me, okay, I'm good, you know, I'll just get me an Uber. And I'm not doing a ranking of like what's the most disgusting film, but I will say this is up there. This goes up there purely based on the idea that somebody can be capable of just being obsessed with the human body like that. It's just really disgusting. And I see a lot of people bringing up the mental state of Martin. And honestly, I do think that the environment that he grew up in did not help. He grew up in a very abusive environment, very just disgusting, and it really seemed like there was really nobody that obviously cared about him. His father did abuse him when he was a child, so he ended up going to prison for it. And instead of getting support for it, his mother blamed him for it, which caused more abuse and just continuation of it. And none of that excuses anything that Martin did in the film, but it really does show you that this really clearly shaped his actions and his beliefs and the mindset of him doing that. And on top of that, recruiting the actress, though, come on, man. Very diabolical, but let's get into why this film was banned. First off, this film couldn't even be categorized. They didn't know how to categorize it in the UK. The BBFC was like, hey, yeah, this is even meant to be on TV. It's not meant to be in theaters, but you thought this was. But they did think that it was a actual harm to viewers. But their issue wasn't just like the gore itself. I think it was mostly that because the film puts you in the mindset of the attacker, sort of like his POV. And really framing it as something like violence is something to enjoy. It eventually did get an 18 rating after over 2 minutes of cut from the film. Eventually it was available for people to watch. Like I always say, do not watch. Do not watch. I'm putting a big, fat... What was that? Y'all, there's a gnat in here. Every time I film, a gnat comes in here, and I'm going to get it. I don't care. Even though nothing is medically correct in Human Centipede, like, let's be real, like, none of that could possibly happen. What I thought was very interesting is the directors kind of talking about why they came up with this film in the first place. So Tom Six and his sister, Ilana Six, came up with the idea after seeing a crazy murder happen on the news when they were watching it. And the brother was like, hey, you know, it'd be a really cool way to punish the person that, you know, murdered that person. Why not they just stitch their face to a butt? And then the sister was like, okay. I mean, yeah, that would be terrible. That's actually disgusting. Where'd you come up with that? He developed it, and here we are, Human Centipede. So yeah, I just don't, I think that it's best to leave it to whatever imagination you have and just don't watch this film.
Wave pattern. Again, it looks like you went and got a blow job at your blowout at your salon. Oh my God. And it looks beautiful.
All right, so here's what's happening today. We're having a huge beauty sale. Everything ships to you for free, but that goes away at the end of the day. I will remind you that this is a one-time only price, where the price goes up at the end.
The second film we're going to be talking about is actually the least traumatizing on this list. I'm surprised to say. Don't Deliver Us from Evil. This is a coming-of-age story, in my opinion, kind of made very dark and twisted. So this film follows two best friends, Anne and Lore, Catholic schoolgirls at a convent who make a pact to sin and devote themselves to Satan. At first when I was watching this, I was like, oh, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. Just two best friends trying to navigate, trying to make their way. And I realized I don't have subtitles in English, and I don't know the most French. Actually, I don't know that much French at all. And I kept watching it, and I was like, okay, I don't think I understand what's going on at all. But it actually did start getting into some more darker territory involving assault and the ending that totally blindsided me. I won't spoil it, but it's really unforgettable. It really is. I have never seen a truer concept of fighting the flames. Oh, brother. If you guys have seen the film Perfect Sisters, if I had to say an English version of this film, I would say that's probably it, maybe. Minus the whole, you know, true story aspect and the getting rid of the parents. But it generally does feel like a coming-of-age film, and then it takes a hard left. Hold on, let me read my notes. Hold on. The ending does also kind of end in like an emotional space. Watching the bond of these two best friends twist into something totally opposite of what you expect. And part of me kind of reads this as a very campy type film. At the time, it was definitely, explicit, not, yeah. But after all the things that have came out after, and I always say that, but you guys, when I tell you guys, a lot of these films are just the basis of what is capable of being made. But I will say I'm very conflicted on this one. I definitely would not watch it again. That's for sure. I mean, if there was some English subtitles, I would need some type of subtitles to kind of help me get through that. Now, the reason why this film was banned was, I mean, obviously the assault of, as well as the blasphemy and the anti-Catholic undertones that come with it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not creepy, it's just deeply unsettling. It really is. I think if you kind of think about not only the setting of the film and then as well as this Catholic, very strict on a lot of things, it definitely shook the table, as we say, for the people back then. That was probably the first depiction of wow. So that's how we feeling? That's how y'all feel about us? Okay. I also like to think that people talk about the reasonings and their kind of like rebellion against the Catholic way of living. It really does show in the film. Obviously, there are really terrible scenes in the film. I think it all kind of adds up to that ending scene, which, like I said, I'm not going to spoil it. If you guys want to watch it, if you guys want to look it up, I just won't be the one to spoil it for you. Not saying that they got their lick back, but they got their lick back. Put this on your list of movies to watch with your bestie, and let me know your thoughts on how that ends. Okay, you guys, we are on to our third film. This is the mark where we really in there together. Like, I'ma really need y'all to grab onto my hand because
absolutely disgusting, by the way.
The next film is a Serbian film. I had to scrub my eyes after attempting to watch this. Keyword attempt, keyword wash eyes. So this film came out in 2010. It is a horror slash mystery. It's sort of on the lines of films I recommend you guys watch instead of this one. 8mm, Memento, Shutter Island. Think of those films, but rated XXXR LMNOP. This film follows a man named Milos, a retired porn star who gets dragged back into his old lifestyle of being an adult actor. He agrees to star in an art film in order to secure money that will last his son's whole entire life. But what he doesn't realize is that he's being tricked into starring in a snuff film. Out of all the movies on this list, I hated this one the absolute most. I know I say I hate a lot of things, but this is actually something that I hate a lot. This movie has almost every fear you could possibly think of cranked up 1,000 times. It's not based on a true story, but the director, I'm actually really scared I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Serdan Spacilovic. Ooh. Period. Okay, I think I ate that. He says that it reflects how he sees Serbia after the Yugoslav wars. And a lot of people gave him a lot of pushback for that because it was a very hard interpretation, very disrespectful. In one interview, he stated that it doesn't matter who the main character is. It could be a singer, it could be a baker, it could be a lawyer. They all end up in the same place, violated and discarded. And I'm actually sitting with that because it's actually really insane from his perspective. He's probably experienced some things, and this is the reflection of that in this film. And maybe he's seen the worst of what his region, is capable of, or, the insides that we just have not seen, kind of putting us in that mindset. But honestly, for me, it still misses the mark. I just feel like it was just nothing but gore corn galore. And it's not sliding with me. This film did provoke outrage, but for good reason. Nobody, not even a cow, wants to see what's on that screen. And you guys know, I always say this, the fact that A is involved in this film is disgusting. It's so disgusting. And it actually makes me very mad with the outcome of this film. And just for his whole family in general, it was just not a happy ending. Like, everything is a cycle. Take with that what you will, but just know everything is a cycle. Like, so this film was banned in 46 countries. I think I should give a second to put them on the screen. Let's do that first. I think that's all of them. Oh, I'm not done. Okay. Okay, that's all of them. It was banned for its extreme depictions of SA, violence, assault of, you know, graphic gore. So, you're better off watching Shutter Island, honestly.
A face. A fleet. A war. A man.
Beh, che succede?
Okay, you guys, we are on to our final film of part 2 of banned films. The film that everyone always talks about, but nobody can fully explain what this film is. Salo, aka 120 Days of Sodom. I really am considering making a whole separate video on not only this film, but the director in particular. He went through the ringer for dropping this film. When I say the ringer, I mean the ground. He's dead. But I will get into that in a second. I actually just got done watching this movie because I at least want to say I've watched the film if I'm going to explain it to you guys. I can say with full confidence this is the least expected on my list, but I'm kind of intrigued of the backstory. So this film follows 4 fascist libertines who round up 9 adolescent boys and girls and subject them to 120 days of physical and psychological torture. So this film was directed by Pier Paolo Pasolini. He is an Italian filmmaker, and he's mostly known for his politics and his storytelling behind it. So Salo is widely known as his most brutal depiction of what he saw as the truth behind Italy's post-war society and consumer culture. What's really crazy about this film, the film is crazy itself, but Pasolini was actually murdered shortly after this film was released. And to this day, the full truth behind his death is very much still debated and is, I think, unsolved. It all kind of starts with 17-year-old Giuseppe Pelosi, who confessed to running him over with his car. But after some time, he later recanted his statement and stated that it was multiple attackers who were involved. Some theories kind of point to many different things, such as political reasonings being one, given how he was very much against war and, you know, the establishment around it. A lot of people do assume that it was a political assassination, but some other people connect it to an attempted extortion. So during the post-production of this film, it was reported that some of the film reels were stolen. And there is some speculation that a lot of people think that his death may have been tied to attempt to recover that footage. But to this day, like I said, nothing has been proven and nothing has been solved. And there were a couple other things as well kind of involved in the situation. I don't know, you guys, I love a good mystery. Now this is a mystery I can get into. I want to know why. So Salo was banned immediately in Italy and a couple other countries due to its use of abuse, and several other countries for its depiction of sadistic abuse. But at the end of the day, Pasolini was somebody who broke the rules, and I think that kind of bothered some people. I do believe that he knew the reception that this film was going to get, but he made it anyway. He was like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball.
But I really don't give no kind of fuck. I never have. And it ain't that I wish I could though, but I just can't.
And he made it anyway. And looking back at what this film is really about, who this film is really about, it's just a really crazy reflection of the crazy conspiracies and things that we see today.
Here she goes. Here she goes.
Chelsea's
Nice.
here,
Wait, how do
taking
I
a
stop?
spin. She literally had no training on this.
I don't
Okay,
know
over here.
how to
Over here.
stop. Break. Oh, there we go.
Are you okay?
So that is our 4 films that we went over today. And after everything that I said about censorship, the upside of telling a story that only you can tell, that's based on your own life, the downside of people thinking that you are unhinged, maybe you are. I think I can very much say I understand why these films are banned. When I say do not watch these films, you guys, I would never lie. I would never lie to you. I don't know, maybe censorship is needed in film. But in all seriousness, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys want me to do a part 3, because I look, if you guys have seen anything crazier than what I've mentioned, let me know, because I don't believe that's possible at this point. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. I put them on the screen. You guys know how this goes. I love you guys. Next week's video is going to be way lighter. It's going to be a break, and I will see you in the video next week. Bye. Oh, I gotta do my little snap.